Hello everyone, very good evening. This is Vasu Waghela, sales representative of GM Plastic Machinery, welcoming you all in our seventh
Hello, Sanjay
webinar.
Jauja.
Hope, yes, sir. Hope everyone is doing fine and having good time with the family. So, to those who are attending our webinar for the first time, this webinar series is brought to you by GMS Plastic Machinery Private Limited, the prime name in India when it comes to the plastic washing and recycling machinery. Machinery which is completely made in India and with most advanced technology out there in the sector. Obviously, thanks to our technical partner from Italy, Gamma Mechanica. So today we have gathered to discuss a very crucial topic, which is very relevant to current times of pandemic. And we are here to discuss about biomedical waste washing and recycling, and also the technical recycling process of engineering plastics, such as ABS, PC, POM, OBT, SAN, PBT, etc. Before move forward, would like to thank all the participants for taking out the time, and also as usual, we are having a question and answer session at the end. So whatever questions, whatever concerns you have, you can put into the chat box, and we will definitely try to answer as many questions as possible into the webinar. And if not, then we will directly contact you via mail with your concern. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Haren Sangvi, Managing Director of GMS Plastic Machinery Private Limited and former President of All India Plastic Manufacturing Association. Mr. Sangvi has a vast experience of about 2 decades when it comes to specifically machine manufacturing related to plastic recycling industry. So here we will discuss about the technical aspects of the recycling of the biomedical waste as well as all the engineering materials. So would like to request Arun sir to take over and inform to us about the technical aspects. Arun sir, over to you.
Thank you, Vasu. Before I start my presentation, I would like to thank Mr. Pandya ji, my guide in medical industry. Whenever I need support for medical related products or recycling or anything, I would like to always approach him and use his support to understand what we need to really take care when we are recycling or handling the biomedical waste or the medical waste. The most important part which I would like to stress here in the medical field today is that the major requirements for plastics would be, I would say, major, not 100%, because there are certain products also which are used in human body which are also plastics, like the valve or pacemakers or similar things. But most of the disposable plastic packaging which comes into from the medical industry is packaging only. And I would say packaging only, but then there should be also other criteria like tubes and pipes which are part of the IVs, etc. But majorly it would be packaging. And when we are handling packaging, we need to sanitize it. in spite of doing all the sanitization processes, there is some sort of contamination left behind. And to handle that contamination, we need and 100% need to wash the waste. And to wash the waste, we need either these fully automatic washing plants or the semi-automatic washing plants. Now, the requirements for the type of semi-automatic or the fully automatic washing plant differ from each client and the output required by each of them. So I will actually stress here the major requirements, then the minor requirements can be decided once we talk to each client and understand the product that they want to recycle, the output that they require, etc. So the main requirement in the fully automatic washing plant would be the shredder. Then comes the friction washing, which is most important because at this stage, the shredder or the grinder, we are able to put some detergent with water to remove all the contamination, even in the minutest of the particle size. Subsequently, in the friction washer, with the help of friction, every corner of that plastic can be cleaned of all the contaminants that are left behind. This is the need for recycling of plastics in medical industry. Of course, detergent, type of detergent requirements or other additional chemicals required to disinfect the product that has to be washed is based on the waste that the source of the waste that from where it arrives. After the friction washing, then comes the flotation tank where we will settle all the heavy particles and the plastic will float and move further. Then we have the centrifugal dryer and then the hot air blower. Now this configuration is the basic configuration. It need not be the same every time. It could vary from client to client, as I said earlier. Then we come to the in the fully automatic, the most important thing is every single fully automatic plant is configured, as I said, very low power consumption of 0.4 kilowatt per kilo is the data which we have received from our clients, and we are confident about it. Only one operator and one supervisor required depending on the size of the plant, but mostly the one operator and one supervisor is enough to run the fully automatic washing plant. Labor is required only to feed the material at the starting point, and then we have the complete automation. We can even link a recycling machine directly after the washing unit so that you are able to get the granules at the end without manual touch. So you can see in the fully automatic, once you dump the material into the washing plant, you directly receive the granules and you are working very safely. Floor space required would be close to around 50 feet by 20 feet, depending again on the configuration of the plant. But this is based on the previous slide that I had mentioned. ETP combination also can be provided by GMS. In fact, last time we had an expert from ETP industry with us, and we had given the complete presentation on ETPs. Very low detergent requirement would be there because we have various stages of washing. Now, the first stage of washing, you don't need a detergent. That is the wet grinder, but it does a sort of a washing. The second stage, that is the centrifugal dryer, centrifugal washing unit, we are able to pump detergent at various intervals depending on the requirement. Then we have the detergent sourcing also can be provided by us. Lightweight waste like film Raffia, of course, is not part of medical industry unless it is the packaging of the product which has come in. But still, raffia and any other thing which is related to the medical industry can be recycled and washed easily. Then we come to the semi-automatic washing plant. Now here you can see there is only the friction washing device and the centrifugal drying device. The friction washing device has to be handled and maintained manually. So because the detergent dumping, the material dumping has to be done manually at every single batch. And this is a batch process. And this is not a process where you can create automation unless you add certain more equipment, which would be ideal then to shift to a fully automatic plant. In this, the requirement of labor would be little more than any other washing plant. Here we also require detergent and water requirement would be close to around 10 liters per kilo in both plants, even in the fully automatic or the semi-automatic. After the centrifugal dryer, we can attach a hot air blower so that the material can be dried 100% and fed to the recycling machine fully automatically. Okay. In the the recycling and pelletizing plant, of course, you have seen it earlier in my presentations also, but this is, we have, in fact, in this application, two types of recycling plants. One would be for better washed material and cleaner material, where we have a single stage extruder with a force feeding device. You can see the feeding system over here. Then we have the online screen changer and then the online die face cutter. Now here you see this equipment. This is part of a venting system where we are able to remove the moisture. So after washing, we can directly bring the material here and you can recycle the material with ease. This is a double stage extrusion unit where you can have you should have two extruders if the washing is not done properly. After the force feeding device, you are having two extruders. Both could be vented, or we could vent it in between the two extruders, and then both could have a screen changer, or either of can have a screen changer depending on the dirt quantum. And then we have the die face cutter. Normally, in most of the medical applications, we would like to suggest a single stage extruder because they are not very dirty unless they come from dumps. Okay. Now I'll start my presentation on engineering plastics, which is again our very big business and a very demanding business. GMS has developed a very specialized equipment for recycling of engineering plastics, and we are proud to say we are able to recycle almost all types of engineering plastics except in these particular types of equipment which you saw in the earlier slides, except for, of course, nylon, PET and PVC. For nylon and PET, we have a different set of equipment because, for example, in PET, we require a lot of pre-drying and after-drying. And for PVC, we need air phase cutting instead of water immersed die phase cutting. Okay, we are able to recycle in this slide. For example, you can see the 6 major products that you would like to really see them recycled, and the results of the waste to final granules. The first slide shows PBT, the second one shows PC. Follow my mouse, please. Then you can see the GPPS, that is the general purpose polystyrene or the high impact polystyrene. Then we are able to see polymethyl acrylate, that is PMMA, or its sister product SAN. All these are easily recyclable other than polypropylene, polyethylene, or those types of wastes which are normally required to be recycled. What would be the requirements for such recycling? You can see the photograph of the recycling machine. It's basically, when you're talking of article waste, you need a forced hopper system. Here you can see the forced hopper system with a force feeding screw at the bottom. The reason for force feeding at every single equipment in our range is basically to keep the output consistent from morning to evening. And when I say consistent, means you get nearly close to 90% consistency from morning to evening. So if you measure in the morning that your output is around 200 kilos, by evening you should be able to still manage to have 190 kilos or 200 kilos consistently. And when you maintain that output, your granule size also stays even. So that's the reason we have maintained our requirement for force feeding in all our systems. Of course, this is a completely compact. For example, this photograph is of a 50 kilo per hour machine, which would need not more than 20 feet by 10 feet of area. So 20 square feet of area for a recycling machine. We, in fact, are proud to say we are having the world's smallest recycling equipment. The reason for the benefits of our recycling machine, the main features are low power consumption, that is close to around 0.25 to 0.37 kilowatt per kilo. The reason for such low power consumption is direct coupling, hence no slippage of belts or pulleys or the transmission systems. Variable speed is given to each equipment. Consistent output, as I said earlier in my previous slide, the force feeding makes it consistent. No preheating of material required. Here I stress because in engineering plastics, for example, polycarbonate, ABS, PC, the traditional conventional equipment would require preheating, and everyone needed to invest on high-speed mixers, whereas now the requirement of high-speed mixers with our equipment is eliminated. And hence you save a lot of investment. Over and above the investment, you save also on the power consumption of the high-speed mixer. Then comes the extruder heating, which is very low. Almost every zone is not more than 4 to 5 kilowatt per zone. All motors would be running not above 60% capacity. You can see the power saving at every stage. Of course, we over and above this, we have certain equipment which we are also providing with PLCs and Industry 4.0. Here the labor required are just 2 persons, including operator, due to you have to only have one supervisor to clean the filters and set the parameters. You need one person. The person collecting the granules can also feed the extruder. So ultimately you need only 2 people to run any of our recycling machines, unless the output increases beyond 500 kilos. Of course, we are still not in the stage of manufacturing any machines with below 500 kilos, above 500 kilos. The machine, as I said earlier also, is the smallest footprint. Again, no mixer required, no pre-drying required, so you save power consumption, but you can, without getting any worry, feed about the material with about 3% moisture in our machine, because all our machines are vented. Post-recycling, standard dehumidifier drying would be enough to reuse the material. It will be the same time and temperature to pre-dry the virgin material. Force feeder, which gives continuous output and feeds mostly all types of waste with consistency and no human intervention. High compaction and grooved feeding screw and barrel design with extra mixing zone for highly compact and homogeneous colored granules. So if you are just pre-mixing the material, the waste with say pigments, um, you can do it in a tumble mixer and dump it in our machine. You don't need a high speed mixer. You just need a tumble mixer, dump it in our machine. You will still get homogeneous granules from our machine. Then we have all our machines built with die face cutter. So you get uniform granules. We have all our machines built with oleodynamic online screen changers. So you don't need to stop at the machine. So you save production time. Again, your losses in production is minimized. There is a pressure transducer on each machine. So whenever the pressure increases, you get immediately an alarm, and you just with a change of a button, with a push of a button, you change the screen. All our machines again are vented and compressed. So you can use up to 3% moist material. You can even use foam material without fear. The benefits of GMS again are we provide free trial to every customer. GMS designs each equipment to suit the customer needs, thereby achieving 100% performance as promised. GMS provides installation at no engineer cost. GMS provides lifetime service to all our members, all our customers. GMS supplies machines with only high quality branded components. Most of our components are Siemens, drives and all would be Danfoss or ABB. So we just maintain the topmost quality of products. GMS provides bimetallic screw and barrel where they determine that. I will at this point say that if you are having glass filled material, at that stage, we would always recommend to use bimetallic screw and barrel. Then GMS supplies required tools and extra spares with every ordered equipment. GMS, a name you can count on. GMS, a brand for quality and service. Okay, this is our YouTube channel where you can see almost all our videos. Of course, this PPT played by Mr. Pandya and myself will be also uploaded on this channel. So if you have any relook on your requirements or something, you can go back to this channel and have a look. Vasu will of course give you, Vasu and Anand in our team will of course give you the links on the chat. We will be having the subsequent webinar number 6 on challenges and futuristic opportunities of recycling part 4 on the 28th of July, Tuesday at 5 p.m. The registration link is below. Then we have another webinar which is held by WasteWise, which is on informal recycling chain, which will be on 6th of August at 3 p.m. The registration link of this particular webinar, we will be sending it to you soon. Do register and join us. We would be waiting for your registration. Let GMS turn your waste to profits. Thank you, everyone.